Harvey Weinstein will be retried in New York. Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg making that determination this week after the 72-year-old's 2020 rape conviction was overturned last week. See Weinstein cuffed to his chair in court Wednesday last week. New York's highest court found that the judge in Weinstein's trial made a major error by allowing 3 additional women to testify that Weinstein had assaulted them, even though he wasn't charged with those alleged incidents. Weinstein's original 23-year conviction overturned. The appeals court found, quote, under our system of justice, the accused has a right to be held to account only for the crime charged, and thus allegations of prior bad acts may not be admitted against them for the sole purpose of establishing their propensity for criminality. Court was a 4-3 decision, so close. Found that the judge also made a mistake in allowing prosecutors to cross-examine Weinstein about these women if he testified. He ultimately decided not to, and Weinstein's team would say that that ruling was part of the reason he didn't testify. Now, regardless of what happens in New York, he'll continue to serve out that prison time for his 2022 conviction of rape in California, sentenced to 16 years there. His legal team has vowed to appeal that, and Jennifer Bonjean, Weinstein's attorney, joins us earlier this week and laid out her argument to get that conviction thrown out.
He came into that courtroom with the stamp of convicted felon on his back. And they believed that he had been righteously convicted in a fair trial by 12 jurors of his peers, and that it was done so fairly. And that turns out not to be the case.
Weinstein's new trial in New York has been tentatively scheduled for after Labor Day. Joining me now, Jesse Weber, attorney and anchor for the Law and Crime Network, criminal defense attorney Jonna Spilbor, and criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Imran Ansari. Jesse has a lot of arguments that they can make, but it seems like the lawyer for Harvey Weinstein is really focusing on the fact that the jury found out that he was convicted in New York, and that conviction now doesn't exist.
I think that's a great argument for 2 reasons. One, the jury comes in knowing he's a convicted felon. That hurts him a lot, and you'd have to show that really prejudiced them. But number 2, in your interview with her, she made a great point. It also affects the sentence, right? Sentenced to 16 years. One of the reasons is he was convicted in New York. So at the very least, 16 years should not be what he's serving, or it has to come into consideration.
And Jonna, the reality is now they're going to probably have a hard time convicting him in New York. I mean, that's what I think people are just assuming. Oh, he's going to get another trial. There'll probably be another conviction. Remember, there were a number of counts here where they weren't able to get convictions in New York. Now, without these other women, it could be tough to get that conviction in New York.
I think it will, even though everybody has vowed, all of the victims that they do intend to call has vowed they're happy taking the stand and doing it all over again.
Not yet, Joe.
Not
yet. Not yet.
That's
and obviously, in full disclosure, I'm one of Harvey Weinstein's attorneys here in New York with the firm. We took it. We had the trial, we took it to appeal, and now we're going to have the retrial. And Mimi Haley, who was one of the complainants, has not committed to testifying at that second trial.
Thank you for that. But Jessica Mann has. Yeah.
But she has. Do you want to do it? All right.
You'll do it.
The point with the problem here is if Jessica Mann testifies, Harvey Weinstein was acquitted of rape 1. He was acquitted of the other charges. He was only convicted of rape 3, rape in the 3rd degree for Jessica Mann. If they take it to trial, they decide to take it to trial only on the charges related to Jessica Mann, he has time served.
Yeah, because it's 4 years in prison. So if they convict him, on that, what are they going to say? Well, he only served time with respect to Mimi Haley. Again, I just don't know how that would work.
Which leads me to my next question. Is there any deal that would be offered, and is there any deal that he would take to avoid another circus that he went through back in 2020?
I mean, no deal has been offered thus far, and knowing Harvey Weinstein as his attorney, he is committed to fighting all the legal cases that have been brought against him, including this retrial. So if there was an offer, I can't speak to that until it's made, but right now, I don't see it happening.
And by the way, timing-wise, and correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know if the prosecutors would offer it either, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's either they charge him and they go for it or they don't. I think it's really interesting. Timing-wise, this is a possibility. He could go to trial in New York in the fall, potentially get, let's say, acquitted a couple months later. His appeal in LA could be decided before the end of the year.
Right.
If that's overturned, are we talking about Harvey Weinstein potentially being out of prison before 2025? If that timing works, and correct me if I'm wrong, Imran, isn't that a possibility?
If everything plays out in
Right,
that
that's a lot of
timeline,
ifs,
which of
but yeah.
course, I mean, it's a feasibility. It's a possibility.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.